The Galactic Archive described humanity in only 3 lines. Primitive, unstable, not a threat. Most civilizations never bothered to read beyond that. The galaxy was huge, ancient, full of species with star-forged armor and empires as old as suns. Humans were newcomers, barely 2 centuries into space travel. They were seen as loud, emotional, chaotic, a temporary spark soon to fade. But deep within the archive halls of the KRYL Imperium, the most feared power in the Orion Arm, an emergency meeting was underway. High Chancellor Vorin slammed a claw on the crystal table. The humans have expanded again. A 3rd colony in our border zone. They multiply like spores. General Talker growled. Their ships are weak. Their fleets are laughable. Yet they do not stop. They do not obey warnings. Ambassador Seldra hissed. We should erase them now, before they become inconvenient. The council agreed. Humans were small. Humans were weak. Humans were nothing. So the KRYL activated Operation Silence, a plan to remove the human species from history. Their fleets vanished into the dark, carrying weapons powerful enough to crack a moon in half. But light years away on the human world of New Carthage, Captain Mara Ellison felt something wrong before any signal reached command. She watched the stars from the station window. I don't like this silence, she murmured. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Rafi Torres, shrugged. The galaxy ignores us. Same as always. Mara shook her head. Not this time. Minutes later, alarms blared. Not from sensors, those were jammed, but from human long-range scouts. One of them, battered and smoking, forced a transmission through static. This is Scout Vessel Sparrow. KRYL fleet. Massive, thousands of ships. Coming for Sol. The line cut. Rafi froze. They're going to wipe us out. Not if we move first, Mara said, fire in her eyes. Humanity scrambled. Fleets launched. Colonies evacuated. Old rivalries vanished. The United Terran Defense Network formed in hours, something no alien had ever seen before. On Earth, President Amina Corbin addressed her generals. We have been underestimated since the day we entered the stars. Today the galaxy will learn who we truly are. Meanwhile, deep in the KRYL fleet, Commander Rithos mocked the humans' panic. They run. They cry. It will be over quickly. But he would soon learn something terrifying. Humans were not prey. They were survivors. When the KRYL reached Sol, expecting an easy kill, they met something entirely different. A system transformed into a fortress. Defensive satellites cluttered the void. Millions of drones floated like metal dust. Human ships, though smaller, moved in formations the KRYL had never seen. Rithos sneered. Chaos tactics. But when the humans opened fire, it was not chaos. It was precision. It was strategy. It was fury. The first shockwave tore through the KRYL vanguard. Human railguns, firing at 10 times recorded speeds, ripped apart ships like paper. Kamikaze drones detonated in programmed waves. The KRYL were forced to retreat for the first time in centuries. General Talker stared at the battle report. Impossible. Humans do not have this technology. The High Chancellor trembled. They should not have survived. But they had. And something new awakened in the galaxy that day, fear of humanity. On Earth, Mara Ellison stared at the distant stars. They wanted to erase us, she whispered. But we will rewrite the future instead. Because humans fought not for conquest. They fought for the right to exist. And no empire, no matter how powerful, could understand the danger of cornering a species that had crawled out of extinction more than once. In the darkness between stars, a storm was building. A human storm that would shake the galaxy to its core. The KRYL Imperium had not retreated from a battle in over 9,000 years. Their archives had no word for defeat. But the report from Sol shattered that pride like thin crystal. Inside the Imperial War Chamber, panic leaked through the cracks of discipline. High Chancellor Vorin slammed his tail against the floor. Explain how a primitive species repelled our vanguard. Technomancer Ulrich spread 4 trembling arms. Their weapons should not exist. Their drones moved with coordinated intent, as if one mind commanded them. General Talker snarled. Humans do not possess hive intelligence. They don't, Ulrich whispered. Which makes this even more alarming. Ambassador Seldra hissed. We misread them. Their archives show wars, conflicts, tribal divisions. They should have been easy to divide. Talker growled. Yet the moment we threatened their home system, every human power joined into a single command. Vorin's frills twitched in disbelief. They unified instantly. Impossible. Seldra looked at the projection of Sol. We underestimated the power of fear. Humans react, unpredictably. Unpredictability, Ulrichs echoed softly, is the most dangerous trait in the galaxy. Silence fell. Then Vorin gave the order. Prepare the Eclipse Armada. We will show humans what true power is. Across the galaxy, engines older than human civilization began to awaken. Meanwhile, in the Sol system, humans were preparing for the inevitable return. The United Terran Defense Network's war room hummed with energy. Holographic displays showed enemy movements, shield frequencies, and thousands of possible outcomes. Captain Mara Ellison stood with her team among a blur of officers. Her uniform was still scorched from the last battle. No one had slept. No one cared. President Amina Corbin walked into the room, followed by admirals and scientists. Her voice was steady. The KRYL have declared intent to erase humanity. We must assume they will return with overwhelming strength. Admiral Chen pointed at a star map. Based on their typical response time, we have less than 80 hours before their main fleet arrives. Whispers rippled through the room. Dr. Arjun Kessler, head of the Experimental Engineering Corps, stepped forward. We have developed a countermeasure. Something untested. Something extreme. Explain, Mara said. Kessler opened a shimmering projection. A rotating sphere of dark metal floated inside it, humming with quiet menace. This is the Helix Resonator. It manipulates gravitational frequencies. Theoretically, it can bend the space around an enemy fleet, slowing their movement or compressing them. A hushed silence followed. Rafi Torres blinked. You mean it can crush ships by warping space? If the calculations hold, Kessler replied. Mara stepped closer. And if the calculations don't? Kessler hesitated. Then it may tear a hole in the system. President Corbin's voice was firm. We will not endanger Sol. Not yet. Kessler bowed. Then we deploy it beyond the Oort cloud. Far from inhabited worlds. Mara nodded. I'll take my squadron. Rafi stared at her. That's a one-way trip. Only if we fail. The room fell quiet as everyone recognized something new. Humans were prepared to sacrifice everything. Not because they sought glory, but because they refused extinction. Far across the stars, the Eclipse Armada prepared to launch. KRYL soldiers marched in perfect formation. War engines roared. Dreadnoughts with black hulls stretched for kilometers. Commander Rithos examined the hologram of Sol again. His pride throbbed painfully. Those humans dared wound us. When we return, we will not simply destroy them. We will erase their memory. A junior officer swallowed hard. Commander, the humans fought with intensity one have never seen. Rithos narrowed his eyes. They are cornered animals. But even animals break. He was wrong. Humans did not break. They adapted. At the same time, the Galactic Council of Accord, a neutral assembly of alien species, met in a floating citadel above the planet Veilora. Their chambers glittered with light crystals. The Veiloran speaker, a tall being of shifting feathers, addressed the council. A distress signal reached us from the human frontier. It speaks of KRYL aggression. A reptilian diplomat scoffed. Humans exaggerate everything. A crystalline envoy chimed, the KRYL do not attack without cause. But an insectoid ambassador raised a trembling limb. What if the cause is fear? The KRYL fear what they cannot predict. Whispers grew. The humans survived extinction events. They learned to thrive on hostile worlds. They expand rapidly. They evolve too fast. Finally, the speaker said, should the KRYL succeed, they may set a precedent for erasing entire species. That, a deep-voiced mammalian envoy growled, we cannot allow. The council voted. And for the first time the galaxy whispered a new fear. What if the humans win? What would that mean for all of us? Back in human space, Mara Ellison stood inside her ship, the Resolute, watching the black void ahead. Rafi approached. You ready? No, Mara admitted. But I'm determined. Same thing for humans. She managed a tired smile. Then Command transmitted a single urgent message. Eclipse Armada on approach. Prepare for final engagement. Mara steadied herself. The galaxy still thought humans were weak. The galaxy was about to learn the truth. Humanity does not fade. Humanity fights. And humanity rewrites destiny. The void ahead was alive. Millions of KRYL ships stretched across the darkness like a black tide, each vessel bristling with weapons designed to obliterate planets. The Eclipse Armada had come not merely to conquer, but to annihilate. Captain Mara Ellison gripped the rail of the Resolute. Her crew moved with calm urgency, a ballet of practiced precision under the pressure of impossible odds. Admiral Chen's voice crackled over the intercom. All squadrons report. Shields at full? Weapons online. Full shields, Mara responded. Weapons primed and synchronized. Drones deployed. Rafi Torres joined her at the viewport. This is it, Mara. Either we stop them here, or humanity becomes a memory. Mara shook her head. We don't lose. We adapt. We survive. That's what humans do. Far across the battlefield, the KRYL commander Rithos observed the human fleet. His tentacles twitched with irritation. They are a swarm, yet they move with purpose. How can this be? Ulrich, the technomancer, whispered, their movements, they are learning in real time. Predicting our attacks before we make them. Rithos growled. Prepare the annihilation protocol. Every system, every weapon, destroy everything. The first wave hit. KRYL dreadnoughts fired pulsar beams that could melt the hulls of entire human cruisers. Explosions lit the void like dying stars. But humanity responded with precision. Human drones executed kamikaze spirals that tore through KRYL shields. Railguns fired at velocities previously thought impossible, hitting weak points no alien had ever calculated. Mara's squadron weaved through debris and fire. Deploy the Helix resonator now, she ordered. The massive sphere of black metal, suspended at the edge of the Oort cloud, hummed and twisted space itself. Suddenly, the lead KRYL ships slowed, their formations breaking apart. Gravity twisted around them like invisible hands, compressing hulls, flipping engines into chaos. Rithos bellowed. Impossible. They manipulate space itself. Ulrich hissed, they've adapted, faster than our simulations could predict. Meanwhile, on Earth, President Amina Corbin watched the battle from the command tower. Her eyes burned with determination. They wanted to erase us. They thought we were weak. Humanity does not ask for mercy. Humanity does not surrender. A scientist at her side whispered, Madam President, they've broken through the first line of the Eclipse Armada. Corbin smiled faintly. Good. Now we turn their own fear against them. The KRYL fleet tried to regroup. Their ships, larger and more armored, began converging on the human center. But humans had predicted this. Mara transmitted a single message across the void. Welcome to the storm. Humanity is everywhere. Then human ships accelerated in unexpected formations, creating phantom fleets using holographic decoys and synchronized drones. The KRYL fired at ghosts. Ships collided in space, confusion spreading like wildfire. Rafi Torres laughed despite the chaos. They think they can outgun us. They're too slow to see the pattern. Mara's voice was calm. Patterns can be rewritten. That's our strength. The turning point came near Jupiter. Using gravitational slingshots and synchronized drone swarms, humans trapped the KRYL flagship, the Dreadspire, in a collapsing gravity field generated by multiple Helix resonators. Inside the Dreadspire, Rithos roared. This cannot be. Humans are evolving in real time. They anticipate every strategy. Ulrich's voice trembled. They are not just strong. They are apex predators in a galaxy that thought they were prey. The flagship's hull cracked. Its engines groaned. Its weapons went silent. A deafening explosion lit the void. Across the battlefield, KRYL morale shattered. Squadrons surrendered, retreated, or were annihilated. After the battle, Mara Ellison and her crew floated in the aftermath. Wreckage drifted in silence. The human fleet, though battered, remained intact. President Corbin addressed the crew over the comms. The galaxy has learned a lesson today. Humanity is not to be erased. Humanity is to be reckoned with. Rafi Torres looked at Mara. We survived. But what now? They won't forget this. Mara's eyes were fierce. Let them remember. Let every empire, every species, know that humans adapt, survive, and dominate. And if they come again. She paused, looking at the stars. They will find a storm waiting for them. Elsewhere, in the shattered remains of the KRYL fleet, High Chancellor Vorin addressed his council. His frills drooped with shame. The humans, they should not have survived. Yet they have rewritten the rules of war. We have underestimated them at our peril. Ambassador Seldra shivered. The galaxy has misread them. Their intelligence, their adaptability, it exceeds anything we imagined. Talker's claws rapped against the table. We have made an enemy that cannot be defeated by force alone. They are unstoppable. Vorin's voice was quiet but deadly. Then we must learn from them. or we will vanish from history ourselves. The Council of Accord observed from Veilora. The insectoid diplomats' antennae twitched. The humans, they are beyond politics, beyond threats. They are a force that reshapes reality itself. The crystalline envoy nodded. They have survived extinction events, internal collapse, and alien annihilation fleets. What else can stop them? The Valoran speaker said nothing. Only one thought echoed across the chamber. Humanity is no longer just a species. Humanity is a reckoning. Back on the Resolute, Mara Ellison turned to her crew. We did more than survive. We showed the galaxy what it means to face humans. Remember this moment. Humanity is more than flesh and steel. Humanity is cunning. Humanity is relentless. Humanity is apex. Rafi grinned. Then let them come. Let the galaxy try again. They'll see the same storm. And it will be worse. Mara's gaze shifted to the stars, where distant fleets would someday dare to challenge humanity again. Let them come, she whispered. We will be ready. And the human fleet, battered but undefeated, vanished into the cosmos. A warning to all who thought they could erase an entire species. The galaxy was trembling. Humanity had fought the impossible, and survived. Humanity was no longer a footnote. Humanity was the future. The aftermath of the eclipse battle rippled through the stars. Entire sectors whispered the tale of human defiance. The vanguard that survived against the KRWL Armada, the ships that bent gravity itself, and the species that refused extinction. In the neutral zones of the Galactic Council of Accord, debates raged louder than war drums. The Valoran speaker addressed the assembly. The humans are no longer an insignificant species. Their methods, their adaptability, surpass anything we have catalogued. A reptilian diplomat spat venom. They are dangerous. If the KRL cannot subdue them, who else can? Crystalline and insectoid envoys murmured in agreement. They rewrite strategy as though the universe were a game. A mammalian envoy added, it is not a game. They survived annihilation fleets. They fight like apex predators. They cannot be contained. The council fell silent as the words sank in. Humanity had done the impossible, earned the galaxy's fear. On New Carthage, Captain Mara Ellison walked through the repaired fleet dock. Engineers hurried to patch battle damage. New recruits trained with relentless energy. Lieutenant Rafi Torres joined her. It's surreal. We fought death itself, and won. Mara's eyes scanned the horizon. Won? No. We survived. Survival is not victory. We need more than survival to secure humanity's future. Rafi raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Mara stopped. The KRYL will recover. They will return with bigger fleets, deadlier weapons. Every empire that watched will take note. We have only begun to show what humans can do. Across the KRYL Imperium, High Chancellor Vorin convened the Council of Shadows. We miscalculated, Vorin growled. Humans are evolution incarnate. They are not prey. They are a storm. General Talker's claws tapped against the table. We must change tactics. Engage them differently. Observe them, understand them. Ambassador Seldra hissed, they fight with purpose, with sacrifice, with unity. We cannot divide them as we do others. Vorin's voice hardened. Then we do what no empire has dared. We study humans. We learn from them, and then we adapt faster than they can. The first tremors of KRYL respect and fear began to surface. In human space, scientists worked feverishly to expand the Helix Resonator program. Dr. Arjun Kessler oversaw multiple new units, each designed to manipulate space and energy in increasingly sophisticated ways. President Corbin walked among the engineers. How soon until full deployment? 2 months, maximum, Kessler replied. We are already testing preemptive strategies. Not just defense, but deterrence. Corbin nodded. The galaxy must understand one thing, humanity will not bow. Humanity will not negotiate from fear. Humanity will rewrite the rules. Mara Ellison entered, fresh from a strategic council. We have intelligence of a new KRYL fleet in formation. They are testing the boundaries of space near Orion 7. Rafi's eyes narrowed. A trap. Perhaps, Mara replied. Or perhaps a warning. Either way, we strike first, on our terms. The first human offensive beyond Sol was breathtaking. Fleets moved like living storms, striking the KRYL at unexpected angles, disabling supply chains and capturing outposts. Human ingenuity shone. Cloaked ships, AI-driven drone swarms, and gravitational manipulation tore through ancient KRYL defenses. On board the KRYL flagship Dreadspire, Commander Rithos watched in disbelief. How can one species anticipate everything? They are rewriting every equation of war. Ulrich whispered, they evolve mid-battle, they learn faster than our sensors can track. Rithos bared his teeth. They must be stopped. At any cost. Meanwhile, the human victories caught the attention of other species. Some saw opportunity, others fear. Secret alliances formed quietly. The Council of Accord debated whether to intervene or stand aside. A Valeran diplomat finally spoke. Humans are no longer isolated. They are a force that shapes the galaxy. Every power must consider their presence. A crystalline envoy agreed. To ignore them is to court annihilation. To confront them, may be even worse. Even the neutral worlds began preparing for the storm. Humanity's name became synonymous with unstoppable force, a rising tide that could not be contained. Back on the Resolute, Mara convened her council. The galaxy is waking up to our presence. The Kerwellel may be the first to challenge us, but they will not be the last. Every species will test our limits. Every empire will doubt us, and fail. Rafi smirked. So what's the plan? Preparation, adaptation, and calculated strikes, Mara replied. We don't just fight. We teach. We show the galaxy that humans cannot be erased, intimidated, or predicted. We are the apex of survival and intelligence. The crew nodded. They had seen the impossible. They had survived annihilation. And now they understood something new. Humanity's greatest weapon was not the helix resonator. It was not railguns or drones. It was human ingenuity, courage, and the refusal to yield. Far in the shadows of space, KRYL engineers and strategists watched human movements like students studying a master class. The realization hit them hard. Humans did not just survive against the galaxy's strongest, they taught the galaxy a new definition of war. Voron's voice echoed in the chamber. We will learn from them, we must learn, or be swept aside by a species no one truly understood until it was too late. And in that moment, across light years, a quiet truth spread among all who had witnessed humanity rise. The galaxy had underestimated humans. It would never do so again. The galaxy had changed. Humanity was no longer a rumor whispered in back alleys of distant spaceports. They were a force that inspired fear, admiration, and awe. Every civilization had felt the tremors of the Eclipse battle, and whispers spread like wildfire. The humans adapt, they survive, they dominate. But Mara Ellison knew the galaxy had not yet learned the full measure of humanity. The Kerwelo were reorganizing. Other powers watched, waiting for the human storm to either break or overreach. Humanity's survival had painted a target on its back. On the Resolute, Mara's bridge hummed with activity. Tactical officers monitored dozens of sectors. Intelligence reports from spy satellites and deep space scouts flowed in faster than humans had ever processed. Lieutenant Rafi Torres approached, face grim. Mara, new data from Orion 7. Kerwell aren't alone. Several mercenary fleets, unknown species, they're gathering. They want a show of force. Mara studied the map. Thousands of ships across light years, converging silently. They think they can trap us in a corner, she said, voice low. They don't understand how humans fight. Rafi raised an eyebrow. You're planning a preemptive strike? Not exactly, Mara replied. We will teach them the cost of underestimating humans. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the KRYL High Chancellor Voron convened his council. We cannot rely on brute force, he said. Human adaptability exceeds our models. They do not react like other species. Their strategy evolves in real time. General Talker growled. Then we must anticipate. Every human move, every reaction. Calculate and counter. Ulrich hissed, impossible. Humans do not follow predictable patterns. Their ingenuity bends probability itself. Voron's eyes darkened. Then we strike shadows, not the light. We make them believe in every phantom, fear every corner. We will corner a species that cannot be cornered. Even as he spoke, human spies monitored KRLL signals, detecting deception, reading strategy as if it were open text. Humanity's intelligence network had evolved faster than anyone realized. The first contact came in the void near Orion 7. Human scouts detected a cluster of warships lurking behind asteroid belts. The fleet was immense, KRLL mercenary fleets and unknown war machines. Mara Ellison activated the holographic bridge display. It's bigger than we anticipated, but size does not win battles. Timing and strategy do. Admiral Chin nodded. We used the terrain, gravitational wells, asteroid fields, and decoy fleets. Draw them in. Rafi grinned. A trap, for the trap? Exactly, Mara said. Let them think they control the field. We control the outcome. The ambush began. Human ships darted among asteroids, using helix resonators to manipulate gravity, sending enemy vessels spinning into collisions or crushing gravity wells. Cloaked frigates slipped past detection, disabling key weapon systems with precision strikes. The aliens had never seen coordination like this. Ships that should have collided dodged impossibly, drones reconfigured mid-flight, and weapon systems that should have failed fired with deadly accuracy. Commander Rithos, observing from his flagship, roared in frustration. Humans anticipate everything. Every trap we set, they turn against us. Ulrichs whispered, they evolve faster than we can comprehend. They turn chaos into order. Voron's frills bristled. Then we escalate. Activate the Black Tide Protocol. No mercy. Leave nothing. The battle escalated into a ballet of destruction. Human ships moved unpredictably, reforming formations in seconds. Drones swarmed, weapons synchronized, helix resonators twisted space into impossible angles. Fleets twice their size were falling apart. Rafi Torres laughed as a mercenary flagship exploded. Tell me again why anyone thought humans were weak? Mara didn't respond. She focused on the sensors. Another wave approached, larger, faster. We adapt, she said simply. Every attack is a lesson. Every retreat is a strategy. Every sacrifice is a victory. And then came the first shocking twist. The aliens had a secret weapon. Cloaked vessels, armed with experimental phase disruptors, tore through human defenses at impossible speeds, threatening to collapse the human fleet from within. Mara realized the cost of arrogance. Even humanity's apex capabilities were being tested like never before. Rafi, she said, voice firm, we may have to go beyond the plan. Initiate adaptive protocols. Full fleet autonomy. Trust the instincts of every crew. The human fleet reacted instantly. AI coordination merged with human decision-making, creating a near-perfect balance of intuition and calculation. Ships split, converged, and struck with a synchronicity that stunned the galaxy. The secret alien weapons were neutralized, often turned against their own carriers. As the battle raged, Mara transmitted a message across the void. You sought to erase us. You brought the storm. Now the galaxy will remember humans, not as prey but as apex. Every fleet across Orion, 7 witnessed the human storm unfold. Alien crews hesitated. Mercenaries muttered. The Carewaro realized they had underestimated a species that could think, adapt, and execute faster than the galaxy itself could predict. The aftermath left Orion 7 littered with wreckage. Human losses were significant but measured. Every crew member knew the stakes. Humanity had survived, outsmarted, and outmaneuvered a superior force. Mara turned to Rafi, exhausted but resolute. They will come again, she said. Every empire that watches will learn our methods. But they will also learn our price. Humanity cannot be intimidated, cornered, or erased. Rafi nodded. Then let them come. Let every shadow in the galaxy try. They will face humans at their apex. And in the cold silence of space, humanity's reputation spread faster than any fleet or weapon could. A species that not only survived annihilation but rewrote the rules of galactic warfare itself. The galaxy had no choice but to acknowledge a terrifying truth. Humans were no longer a fledgling species. The Eclipse and Orion 7 campaigns had shattered expectations, forcing every empire to reconsider everything they knew about life, war, and intelligence. In the Council of Accord, debates had turned into heated arguments. The Valeran speaker floated above the chamber, feathers ruffling with tension. Humans are no longer a threat that can be ignored. They think, adapt, and dominate in ways no model predicted. They are apex. A reptilian diplomat slammed a clawed hand on the crystal table. Apex. They are arrogant and reckless. They will destabilize everything. Crystalline and insectoid envoys murmured. They do not merely fight. They rewrite the rules. Every conflict they touch becomes something unrecognizable. Across the galaxy, even neutral civilizations began to prepare for the human storm, quietly fortifying defenses and reconsidering alliances. Humanity's reputation had become both a warning and a promise. Any who underestimated them would pay the ultimate price. Back on the human flagship Resolute, Captain Mara Ellison convened her council. Maps of emerging KRYLL fleets, mercenary movements, and unknown alien powers filled the holographic display. We've survived annihilation fleets, ambushes, and experimental weapons. But the galaxy will not wait for us to react anymore. Mara said, her voice steady. Every empire that watches will try to shape events before we can intervene. We need to ascend, not just survive. Admiral Chin nodded. You mean, strike preemptively? Show the galaxy the full extent of human capability? Mara's eyes glimmered. Exactly. They think we are reactive. They will soon learn humans define the battlefield, not merely respond to it. Rafi Torres smirked. Time to teach the galaxy how humans fight, at apex level. The first step was the Orion Strategic Initiative, a daring series of strikes across contested space. Human fleets moved with surgical precision, disabling enemy supply lines, capturing experimental technology, and demonstrating intelligence that was both strategic and audacious. On board the KRWL flagship Dreadspire, Commander Rithos watched in horror as humans dismantled his networks without direct engagement. They anticipate, intercept, and dominate, without even committing fully. Oryx hissed. They manipulate probability itself. Every plan we enact against them becomes obsolete before execution. High Chancellor Voron's frills twitched in silent fear. We have created a species that turns every disadvantage into advantage, every limitation into a weapon. Meanwhile, humans leveraged captured alien technology, fusing it with their own designs. Cloaking systems merged with helix resonators, AI-driven fleets moved with the intuition of battle-hardened humans, and gravitational manipulation reached levels previously thought impossible. Humanity was no longer just surviving, they were reshaping the galaxy itself. On New Carthage, President Amina Corbin addressed a council of human leaders. The galaxy fears us, and rightly so. But fear is only part of our power. Intelligence, strategy, and adaptability are what make humanity unique. We do not conquer blindly, we evolve, we innovate, and we dominate with purpose. Mara added, every empire that doubted us will now see humans not as a species, but as a reckoning. And the KRWL will remember this for centuries. The KRWL, desperate and humiliated, attempted one final gambit, a coordinated assault across 5 systems simultaneously. It was the largest concentration of force the galaxy had ever witnessed. Mara studied the map. They hope size and simultaneous strikes will overwhelm us. They do not understand humans. Chaos is our ally. Adaptation is our weapon. Rafi laughed. Let's give them a lesson they'll never forget. The human fleet moved like a living organism. Splitting into multiple autonomous squadrons, they reacted to threats before they fully materialized. Drones swarmed, helix resonators tore space itself, and AI-assisted human pilots executed maneuvers so complex that entire KRLL fleets were destroyed before realizing they had been attacked. The galaxy watched in awe. Fleets twice their size disintegrated under the precision, foresight, and sheer cunning of humans. Every victory was cinematic, brutal, and elegant. High Chancellor Voron finally spoke to his council. Humans are beyond control, beyond comprehension. They are a force of nature, a storm we cannot predict, contain, or erase. General Talker growled. Then what do we do? Voron's eyes darkened. We survive. We adapt. We hope we are not the next lesson humanity teaches the galaxy. Meanwhile, across human space, Mara sent a message that echoed across subspace. The galaxy thought humans were weak. They thought we could be erased. We are not weak. We are not afraid. We are humanity. And the future belongs to those who survive, adapt, and conquer with intelligence. The storm has only begun. In the aftermath, the galaxy had witnessed something it had never seen. A species that refused limits, redefined warfare, and outsmarted empires older than stars. Humans had not only survived, they had ascended. On the bridge of the Resolute, Mara looked at her crew, exhausted but triumphant. We are more than a fleet. More than weapons. We are humans. And no one, no empire, will ever erase us again. Rafi placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we show them. Not just with force, but with the truth. Humans endure. Humans conquer. Humans are apex. And in that moment, the galaxy understood something new. Humanity was no longer a participant in galactic politics. Humanity defined the new order of the stars. The galaxy had changed forever. Humans were no longer a species to be underestimated. From Sol to the edge of the Orion Arm, tales of their victories, ingenuity, and unyielding spirit had spread like wildfire. The KRWL Imperium, once the apex predator, now studied humanity with fear and awe. Other civilizations scrambled to either ally with or defend against them. Humanity had not only survived, it had rewritten the rules of existence in the stars. On board the Resolute, Captain Mara Ellison stood at the observation deck, looking out at the void beyond the stars. The battlefield of Orion 7 was behind them, but the galaxy was far from quiet. Signals from distant sectors reported humans in every theater, leading evacuations, neutralizing threats, forging alliances, and dismantling old hierarchies. Lieutenant Rafi Torres joined her, holding a cup of recycled coffee. It's staggering. Every empire, every fleet, they all whisper about us now. Apex, unstoppable, inevitable. They're scared. Mara didn't turn from the stars. They should be. Humans weren't meant to just survive. Humans were meant to endure, to adapt, to overcome. That is what the galaxy cannot understand. Rafi grinned. And yet, here we are rewriting history. Meanwhile, across the shattered KRLL fleets, High Chancellor Voron's voice trembled as he addressed his council. We were wrong. They should have been prey. We should have erased them. But they are something else. Something we cannot contain. General Talker's claws struck the table in frustration. They adapt faster than we can counter. Every strategy we employ against them is neutralized, often turned against us. Ulrichs whispered, perhaps this is evolution incarnate. Perhaps humanity is the apex the galaxy never anticipated. Voron's eyes darkened. Then we learn. Or we perish. On Earth, President Amina Corbin convened a summit of human leaders. The galaxy has seen what we are capable of, she said. But showing power alone is not enough. Humanity must lead with intelligence, with strategy, and with the understanding that our survival depends on unity, not chaos. Mara Ellison spoke next. Every empire that tried to erase us, every fleet that thought we were weak, they learned that humans endure. But we have more to teach. We will show the galaxy that humans do not conquer blindly. We outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast. That is our gift. That is our apex. Rafi added, and when the galaxy tests us, they will face a storm they cannot weather. The galaxy trembled as human fleets spread across contested systems. KRLL remnants were systematically neutralized or captured. Mercenary alliances dissolved under the precision of human strategy. Alien civilizations, once indifferent to Sol, now acknowledged humanity as a power capable of reshaping galactic politics. In one decisive moment, a coalition fleet attempted to blockade the human expansion toward the Helix cluster. Mara's plan was simple yet brilliant. Deploy decoy squadrons to lure enemy forces into gravitational traps, then strike from multiple directions with cloaked frigates and AI-coordinated drones. The battle was swift, almost artistic. The coalition was annihilated not by brute force alone, but by human ingenuity and adaptability. The galaxy watched in awe. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were arbiters of destiny, rewriting the cosmic balance. Back on the bridge of the Resolute, Mara turned to her crew. This is what humans do. We face impossible odds and we do not break. We adapt. We endure. We conquer with intelligence, courage, and sacrifice. Every victory, every maneuver, every strategy proves one truth: humanity cannot be erased. Humanity will define the future. Rafi clapped her on the shoulder. And every empire, every species will learn it the hard way. Mara smiled faintly. Not just the hard way. They will see that humanity rewrites the rules. We do not bow. We do not beg. We survive. We dominate. And we endure. Across the galaxy, the KRYLL Imperium began a slow, reluctant transformation. They could not defeat humans, but they could learn. Other species, observing human strategy, adapted their own philosophies. The galaxy was being reshaped by a force no one could have predicted: human intelligence, creativity, and resilience. For the first time in history, every species understood that humans were not simply another civilization. Humans were a storm, a reckoning, a force capable of rewriting the future itself. On New Carthage, the Resolute's crew gathered to watch a transmission from President Corbin broadcast across the stars. We were underestimated. We were attacked. We were told we could not survive. Humanity endured. Humanity fought. Humanity rewrote history. Let every empire, every species understand this truth: humans cannot be erased. Humans will not be ignored. And humanity will always define the future. Applause, cheers, and tears filled the command deck. They had survived annihilation fleets, rewritten battle tactics, and shown the galaxy what it truly meant to be human. Mara Ellison whispered, looking out at the endless void, "They tried to erase us, but we rewrote the future. And the storm has only just begun." Rafi grinned. "Then let the galaxy come. We are ready." The stars stretched endlessly ahead. And in every corner of the cosmos, from the frozen moons of Veilora to the molten cities of Carol, civilizations knew a singular truth. Humanity was the apex. Humanity endured. Humanity had rewritten the future. And nothing would ever erase them.